I'm going to be absolutely blunt. Tommy Fury would beat Jake Paul. And that's a fact. Guys, welcome back. Make sure to like, sub, and comment, and let's get into the video. These are some hard, stone-cold facts I'm going to lay out to you, the audience, about Tommy Fury and Jake Paul. Did Tommy Fury back out of the Jake Paul fight because he was scared? No. Tommy Fury sustained an injury in his ribs and in his chest. And that injury that he had in his chest, by his doctor's recommendation, if he fought Jake Paul, he could have ended up seriously hurt or dead. And for people to be so disrespectful to Tommy for an injury that was life-threatening is disgusting. Tommy Fury, based off his past performance today, was a better technical performance and a better fight than any of Jake Paul's fights, including the past two with Tyron Woodley. And Tommy showed off more technical boxing ability and more potential than Jake Paul has ever done. Jake Paul's response to this, that he gave to Ariel Helwani, was, "Congrats for being a 10-1 fighter, but when I fight my stadiums are completely full, your stadium was empty, let's see Anderson Silva's event and how that does." Jake Paul says, "Oh, well, when I fight my stadiums are completely full." Well, when Tommy Fury fought on your undercard, guess what? The stadium was full. So, isn't that a bit hypocritical to say? Also, Jake, I don't know if you know this because you're pretty casual to boxing, but in prelims and undercard fights, especially the first one of the night, there isn't a lot of people that show up. That's in any boxing fight of any time. Tommy Fury's fight with Jake Paul sold out that stadium quicker than the first Tyron Woodley fight did. 3 days before the fight, half of the stadium was empty, and that was for the first Tyron fight. As I predicted many months ago, Tommy Fury vs. Jake Paul is a financially safe bet. And I'm proved by statistics, by factual information. I hate Jake Paul, and you can tell, but what I'm telling you in this video is facts, is truth. It's not an opinion piece, but is things that are true, that are factual statements that are backed up by evidence. And the evidence suggests that Tommy Fury versus Jake Paul sold better and quicker than the first Tyron Woodley fight, and judging by that metric, it would have done better on pay-per-views than the first Tyron Woodley fight, and way better than the second Tyron fight. Also, Jake is not a pay-per-view star, as he likes to say he is, because a pay-per-view star is Tyson Fury's Canelo. If Canelo announced 1 week before the fight, "Hey, I'm fighting somebody else," the pay-per-views would still be there. The attendance would still be there. Jake has got the perception that he's a cash cow, that he is a pay-per-view star, but he's not. In reality, he's not getting paid as much as he says he is. In reality, he's not selling as much as he says he is. And in reality, he has underperformed with 2 of his fights. And the second fight did closer to Social Club numbers than Logan Paul vs. Floyd Mayweather, which is a fight that no one cared about, but they still bought pay-per-view for. So Jake can't be going around saying, "My excuse is Tommy's not a financially safe bet," because he is. It's the fight that everyone wants to see. And by the way, Jake Paul's the one that's ducking, not Tommy. Tommy wants this fight. It should have been rescheduled by now. This fight should have happened this month. But Jake's whole back thing, whenever he doesn't want to fight anyone, it's because, oh, it doesn't make sense, and I don't want to fight somebody that's not going to bring something to the table. But when Michael Bisping calls him out, the disabled old guy, he jumps on that. But why hasn't he jumped on Anderson Silva? I think you know why, because he's scared. Because those 2 fights with Anderson and Tommy Fury make financial sense. They'll bring in pay-per-views, they'll sell at a stadium, and they'll be a good competitive fight. And it's a fight that people want to see, and people will give Jake credit for if he actually beats them. He'll get that respect and that credibility that he so much craves from the boxing community, from us as fans. But the only way to do that is to fight good opponents. And Tommy Fury is the same height as Jake, the same weight, 2 years younger than him, has a better record than Jake does, and has better technical ability. And if you watch Tommy Fury's fight and you think that Jake Paul would be able to beat him or is technically better than him, you don't know boxing, plain and simple. The footage proves that Tommy Fury is 10 times a better boxer and at a different level than Jake. However, can Jake still beat Tommy? Yes. How would he beat Jake? How would he beat Tommy? By only knocking him out with that lucky right-hand punch. Because he's going to get outpointed, and he'll get exposed. Even if he wins, he will get exposed for all of the mistakes he made. And he is such a bad boxer, and it's so easy to dismantle this man. And Tommy was way better than he was in any of his past fights. I thought this was his best performance of all time, and I don't think anyone would disagree with me. I thought from an opponent's standpoint, his fight with, before the Pretty Boy Taylor fight was his best opponent. But having said that, Tommy showed massive improvements. Happy for the W. Glad that he got that. He didn't knock the guy out, but he got a unanimous decision win, and he was able to knock down the guy to the canvas once, and it was pretty good. And he showed power. He showed he has cardio. He shows he can handle the pressure in the spotlight, and he just fought in two bigger events than Jake's ever fought in. He fought in front of a huge stadium of people in stakes that were way higher than Jake fighting Tyron Woodley the first 2 times. So at the end of the day, Tommy Fury versus Jake Paul is the fight to make. And if not, Jake Paul versus Anderson Silva. If those fights don't happen, don't bother fighting, because you're going to flop at the pay-per-view, and you're not going to get the attendance you need. And you've only sold out 2 times. 2 times. And the other times, you were part of bigger cards like Mike Tyson, like Logan Paul and KSI. And by the way, does Jake Paul have better opponents than Tommy Fury? No, he doesn't. The only person that is slightly better is Tyron Woodley. And I think Tyron Woodley probably has more power than any of Tommy Fury's opponents, but as a technical, from a pure technical standpoint, Tyron Woodley was not as good as Tommy Fury's opponents, or if you don't want to go there, he was at the same level because he was essentially just a punching bag, and Jake was able to just take advantage of that. Tommy Fury ain't going to be doing this, Jake, like Ben and Tyron did. It's going to be a completely different beast. And I hope everyone agrees with me, and I hope the perception of Tommy Fury changes, because I've supported Tommy all the way. I think he'll win against Jake Paul, and I bet you this fight does not happen. But that's the video. Peace.